Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. First, Gavin Newsom's wife is quietly pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars from political mega donors. Her nonprofit is a gender watchdog organization. Well, it's a good thing they've solved all the real problems in California. Then, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser admits that Trump's federal crime crackdown actually worked. An 87% drop in carjackings. We have the video clip of her talking about it. Bowser giving Trump credit is like a cat coughing up a hairball. Messy, painful, and only happening because she had no choice. Next, Gavin Newsom insists that there won't be a presidential election in 2028. Meanwhile, he's literally trying to rig California's congressional districts right now. It's like a kleptomaniac warning you about pickpockets. And finally, Vanity Fair asked Melania Trump to be on the cover, and she laughed them off. At this point, a Costco receipt carries more cultural weight than Vanity Fair does. And then we go to the comment section. We have a few funny comments to look at first. And then on the segment that we did about the Cracker Barrel logo change, someone commented on BlackRock owning a part of Cracker Barrel. So we're going to look at that to just see if they do in fact own a big chunk of them. Okay, let's dive in. California Governor Gavin Newsom's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, is pulling in as much as $300,000 a year from political mega donors. $300,000? I guess that's what sleeping with the governor pays when you put it on your W-2. She runs companies stacked with Gavin's old political aides and insiders while collecting hundreds of thousands in fees from the state and even from lobbyists with business before her husband. Think of it like friends with benefits, but without the STDs. Jennifer's nonprofit, the Representation Project, which calls itself the leading gender watchdog organization, pays her $150,000 a year for a 40-hour work week. That's right. They called it the leading gender watchdog. The only thing more ridiculous would be calling herself a pronoun police chief. And who's bankrolling all this? Well, big-name corporations like AT&T, Comcast, and PG&E are sponsoring her Flip the Script fundraising galas. It's not corruption, it's just a very expensive subscription service to the governor's office. Washington, D.C. Mayor Bowser seems to have changed her opinion on President Trump's crime crackdown in D.C. Here's Mayor Bowser at a press conference saying that she greatly appreciates the surge of law enforcement provided by the Trump administration.
And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C.
An 87% drop in carjackings? Sounds like the only thing still getting stolen in D.C. is elections. California Governor Gavin Newsom made the bold claim that there won't be a presidential election in 2028. But he also really wants to be the Democratic Party's presidential nominee in 2028 for the election that isn't going to happen.
Wake up. You will lose your country. Again, it's not about Democrats. It's about all of us.
So you're absolutely convinced he's...
I'm absolutely convinced.
2028.
You've seen it. He tried to steal the last election. He's trying to rig it in plain sight.
Is it just me, or does Gavin's face keep getting redder? At this rate, by 2028, people will mistake him for a talking stop sign. Employees at Vanity Fair lost their minds at the thought of First Lady Melania Trump on the cover, but lucky for them and their fainting couches, Melania rejected the offer. One editor responded to the rumor by saying that if they put Melania on the cover, and I quote, "Half of the editorial staff will walk out, I guarantee it. I will walk out of the mother effing door, and half my staff will follow me. If I have to work at bagging groceries at Trader Joe's, I'll do it. It sickens me." Wow, So that was a close one for Trader Joe's. They almost got a giant batch of dramatic and highly emotional interns who are afraid of the bananas and cucumbers because they appear to be too masculine. Back in July, editorial director Mark Guiducci tried to flatter the First Lady into accepting the cover after they'd previously snubbed her, giving other First Ladies the cover but choosing to ignore the former model. Melania declined Guiducci's offer, instead choosing to focus on other projects. If Vanity Fair disappeared tomorrow, the only people who'd notice are their interns and their therapists. And now on to the comment section. It's the first comment we have is on the segment that we did about the Democrats singing in the pink neon vests protesting Kilmer Abrego Garcia, him being deported. So on that particular segment, we got this fun comment from Charles C. 6443. They've had too many boosters. And then on the segment that we did about Lisa Cook, the Federal Reserve Governor who Trump fired, and she also filed a lawsuit today. I just read that, so it looks like that lawsuit has been filed. And I'm sure she will find a receptive judge somewhere because there seem to be all over the place. But on that segment, we had this comment from CXK13. Apparently, mortgage fraud is a requirement for public office. Because we also have the allegations against Adam Schiff and probably against any other Democrat who they actually check on, to be honest. Okay, then on to the Cracker Barrel logo. Cracker Barrel is a tongue twister. If you say that a lot, you can't say it, so I have to focus. Anyways, so on that particular segment, we have this comment. The CEO at Cracker Barrel should have switched logos using a Hunter Biden image, naming it Crack Barrel, which I thought was kind of fun. And I did try to get ChatGPT to do that for me, and it wouldn't cooperate. It just said, no, I can't do that. I can't do that with a logo. I can't do that with Hunter Biden. So I would have had a fun image to look at, but I could not get any cooperation from ChatGPT on that. Okay, and then this is the more substantive comment from a user, and then a really long set of a string after that. If they ditch BlackRock, maybe then will they go back to eat there? In other words, no, I'll never go back there. And I did see I have seen a number of people talking about that BlackRock owns Cracker Barrel or part of them. And so I thought, let's just confirm exactly how much they own. BlackRock, they're this huge asset management company. They have, $10 trillion in assets they own. Very woke. They push woke agendas all over the world, I think. So as far as evil, ginormous corporations, I think BlackRock is the poster child for that. So this is from Fox Business. Cracker Barrel CEO dismissed warnings from a top investor who called the rebranding obvious folly. And just to give you a little bit of background on this quote that we're going to look at, just so you know it's not too completely out of context. So they were talking about how they were trying to tell them this is a bad idea for you guys to do this logo change. While the dynamics of company executives pursuing politically correct woke rebranding are now well documented, a timeline of the last year and a half behind the scenes at Cracker Barrel reveals a classic case of corporate myopia, ignoring caution and barreling forward with rigidity. Apparently they had a phone call. On the call in May 2024, Massino, who is the CEO, that lady that you've probably seen pictures of, announced that she had hired a new leading branding agency to refine and strengthen positioning to delight existing and new guests. The other pillars included enhancing the menu, evolving the store and guests, and a bunch of other gobbledygook speak. So then this one shareholder, a San Antonio, Texas VC, sometimes nicknamed Big, didn't buy all the corporate gobbledygook. So that is the person we're talking about when in this quote, when it says, since 2011, he has become one of the company's largest investors besides BlackRock Inc. So that kind of confirms that, yes, BlackRock is one of the largest investors in Cracker Barrel. So anyway, sorry for that winding around to get to that, but I wanted to just give you a little bit of context on what they were talking about before just jumping in. So yes, BlackRock is a big owner of Cracker Barrel. Thanks for watching Headlines. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.